Morning, 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 morning. It's another episode of Ty Sports Picks 24. I'm going to say it again for the people that can't hear. Ty Sports Picks 24. By the title, you can already tell. I'm mad. I'm upset. I'm stressed out. Because you're too soft for football. College football week 2 preview. But first, we got to go over the things that went on in week 1. Let's get to the picks so we can get to the topic of the day, college football. Also, at the bottom, please donate to the channel, $TY Rebel22 on Cash App. And the Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at the bottom is Ty Sports Picks 24. Ty Sports Picks 24. Now, in the MLB today, we got the Miami Marlins. We got the Baltimore Orioles. We have the Minnesota Twins, the Philadelphia Phillies, the New York Mets, the Cleveland Guardians. I finally got it right. The Milwaukee Brewers, the New York Yankees, and the Los Angeles Dodgers. I'm going to try to improve on my grammatical errors. I've been talking kind of, ghetto and improper. I know my grandmother's watching. I got to speak like I was raised with some sense. But let's focus on the topic of the day while you guys lock in the picks. This is not about physicality per se. For some people it is. But this is more of a thing of, are you mentally tough? Because this applies to fans, coaches, not just to the players. I mean, we saw the shellacking that Miami gave Florida. But even in the fan bases, and Twitter's going to do what Twitter does. But when the voices get too loud, podcasters repeating certain things, there has to be accountability and correction. Everybody's not religious, but, if you do follow the Bible, it says, spare the rod, spoil the child. A lot of people are spoiling the child, they're sparing the rod, and then they want to cry when they have to reap what they sow. Yeah, I'm preaching right now. I might be a pastor/podcaster. First of all, everybody wants to fire the coach at Florida, Billy Napier. I hope you got the picks locked in. And also, if you stay tuned, I will have bonus picks today. I will have bonus picks. I forgot the other day, but you will, I guarantee, get the bonus picks. But you got to stay tuned. Okay, let's touch on this first. I got my notes right here. Billy Napier, he made a remark in his post-game interview to the media, which some coaches just shouldn't even do those, but I guess it's required by law or whatever. But, okay, that's not here nor there. He says nobody's listening to what a guy in his basement typing on the keyboard and somewhere in Central Florida is saying. And people want to take offense to that. Well, go to Home Depot, get you some wood, get you a screwdriver or a hammer, and build you a fence. Sometimes people got to be offended, man. You got to crack eggs to get an omelet. I'm sorry. I told you guys. A lot of you guys, you want results, but you don't even understand how these results come about. If you go watch on YouTube, type in "Do Your Job," the New England Patriots 2020-14, when they finally revealed their secrets, because Tom Brady used to hide the secrets for years. RG3 just recently told his teammate Gronkowski how he tried to get Tom Brady to help him learn how to play quarterback, and Tom said, absolutely not. I love you to death, but why would I teach you how to beat me? Okay, well, finally New England did a documentary, and they showed what they did, and a lot of people still don't do it. They're doing it in Kansas City. They did it at Alabama. They're even doing it at Georgia. That's why I was wrong about Georgia. I didn't think that they were going to do what Saban and what Belichick done. And what is it called? It's a curse word. Cover your ears. It's a curse word. It's called accountability. See, in this world of NIL, in this world of in the NFL, nobody thinks there's a salary cap, even though there is a salary cap. Everybody wants something for nothing. You got coaches that want to go to the portal because they don't want to coach. They want to get a steak out of the garbage can. What is the steak out of the garbage can? You want to find a player that's already been coached up, but you're getting paid $10 million to actually do that. And then you get good players and they still don't perform, or they're undisciplined. Like prime example, Florida State. My notes from last week, I didn't even have to rewrite my notes. A lot of them apply again. And they had a whole week and a half, a week and a day. I'm looking at it right now. Only thing I changed was linebackers, because linebackers did a little bit better in the Georgia Tech game. But defensive tackles and linebackers, maybe the D tackles are just sorry. Who knows? I know I saw Darrell Jackson play better at Maryland and Miami. Maybe I don't know what's wrong with him. Farmer, it's no excuse. You played well last year coming off the bench. As far as those defensive ends, they get a pass rush, but they're undisciplined. When I was a kid, I can hear the old heads right now in my ear. Keep contained, keep contained. Even I was guilty of it. I'm not holier than thou. Do your job, because when you're in this gap and you hop in this gap, the quarterback's just gonna go from right here to your gap. It's common sense. See, you got to look at it from a team aspect and not from a me aspect. But that's the problem. We got too many individuals. We had a bunch of people during the summer. Oh, I'm not going to practice if you don't give me an extra 100,000. That's not going to stop. The way you do anything is the way you do everything. A lot of people think, oh, I'm going to just be lazy. I'm going to be undisciplined. I'm going to hang on South Beach when I'm supposed to be practicing. It does not work like that. These are human beings. This is not Madden. This is not college football, EA Sports. This is the real world. You all work at jobs to go to school. If a new person shows up to your job, a manager, a coworker, no matter how good they are at their job, they may not have to be friends with anybody, but they have to build a certain level of accountability that you trust them to do their job. Or it's going to be a problem when it affects you. You know, you might have to send something down the line if you're a line worker for somebody to get this prepared, to get that prepared, and if they don't do it, now everybody's being affected. Everybody's being screamed at and hollered at. Everybody's being fired. You have to have team chemistry. Yes, Cam Ward came out the portal, but people get the portal confused. All things in the portal are not the same. That's why you have to pay attention to detail and stop getting caught up in what's flashy and what's attractive to the eye. And this is a life lesson. This is not just about football. Because a lot of you are dealing with this in your home, in your business, because you want something for nothing. And it's a problem. You hear them people saying they want the LSU coach fired. LSU, right away in the last 2 years, they were horrible, a dumpster fire after that national championship. 2020, 2021, horrible. They get a kid, Jalen Daniels, whatever. Jaden Daniels. He was horrible at Arizona State. He gets with Brian Kelly. He's okay the first year. They win 10 games, go 10-3, win the SEC West. Then the next year, he comes back 10-3 again, and he wins the Heisman Trophy. They want to complain about him losing in kickoff games. The first game was a field goal blocked at the end. The second game, Florida State was on fire, but they quit at the end of the year, but they went 13-0 in the regular season. Then this year, USC out. I wouldn't even say out. They just beat them. But LSU played a heck of a game. If they stay focused and are mentally tough, and I'm going to go back to the New England do your job thing. New England in 2014 got blown out at Kansas City on the road. They went on to win the Super Bowl and fight through a lot of adversity. They didn't have a transfer portal. They got some free agents, but still they had to work with what they had. You know? But Bill Belichick said, I'm going to watch in the second half of this game, and I want to see who quits. Because before I can teach you anything, I need effort and I need discipline. I've seen this work with Greg Popovich, with the San Antonio Spurs. I've seen this work over and over and over again. This whole concept that, we just going to get the most talented players and we're going to plug and play. Guess what? Every toy commercial tells you batteries not included. What are the batteries? The effort. The effort. It's like dating. If you got the most beautiful woman or the most rich man, but they disrespectful, they don't cook, they don't clean, they nasty, they have no effort, then it doesn't matter if she's a 10. It doesn't matter if he's the richest man or he's a 10 to you. At the end of the day, they're a zero because they're giving you zero effort. If you got a Mercedes-Benz with no engine in it and you got a Toyota with a Hemi in it, guess what? I'm going to drive and get to work with the Toyota. You're going to be sitting in your driveway because you're looking at this pretty car, but it ain't getting you nowhere. Now they want to say fire Billy Napier. Billy Napier, at least he had the effort to fight back. Miami is just better than Florida right now. But guess what? Everybody on your schedule is not better than you. And two, as the SEC schedule builds up, people are going to have injuries. People are going to be coming off of Alabama and Texas. All you have to do is catch people slipping. They beat Utah 2 years ago. They had a close game with Utah last year. Utah's a serious program. They beaten Tennessee multiple times, like 8 out of the last 10 times. Florida does not have to be better than everybody to beat them. You just have to give maximum effort. They did good against the run. Stopping the pass against Cam Ward, that's not going to be possible for a lot of people. If you go look up what he did on those horrible Washington State teams, a lot of people didn't stop him. They just outscored him because the defense wasn't that good and the running game wasn't that good. But he has all of that around him. So sometimes there's good losses like LSU or even Florida. Then there's horrible losses like Florida State. Florida State, Billy Napier. I'm sorry, not Billy Napier. Mike Norvell. Either take DJU out, which I don't even suggest yet, because you don't trust your backups and you don't even prepare them, because that's what we saw in the ACC Championship and in the Orange Bowl when they were like, oh, this bowl game don't count. When Ole Miss beat Penn State, that count. When Missouri beat Ohio State in the Fiesta Bowl, Cotton Bowl, whatever that was, that count. When Ole Miss won the Peach Bowl, that count. And it leads up to the next season. Because when your sophomores and freshmen and juniors get used to, the seniors opted out and people left for the portal, we in this bowl game, we not going to take it serious. Losing is contagious, just like winning is. The reason why Kirby Smart did better against Clemson, even though it was 6-0 at halftime, is because he didn't just go to the portal, our high school recruiting, and get guys. He got good culture guys that they had to buy in. They spent a lot of money on Travis Etienne, but he got into trouble, and they benched him. And a freshman had to play, and they trusted him. Oh, he's a 5-star freshman. No, Florida State got a 5-star freshman, and they give him the ball. He does okay, and they keep giving Roydell Williams the ball. Roydell Williams, no disrespect. I love the kid, but at the end of the day, we saw Alabama moved on from him. He's a pass blocker. He's a screen catcher, a swing pass catcher. You have to let guys do what they're good at. I don't care that he's a freshman. Cam Davis and Lawrence Toyle Philly are your best options at running back. Florida State has not been beat yet. They've lost. There's a difference. Losing is you don't give yourself the best chance. Getting beat is what happened to Florida. Getting beat is even what happened to LSU, though they had better talent than USC. They don't have the same talent when you take it to totality. That Brian Kelly is a good coach at managing games, but Lincoln Riley is a mastermind. He just needed the defense. He went and got a defensive coordinator that beat him head up. Anton, I can't think of the guy's last name. Let me look that up for a second. USC's defensive coordinator is I think Anton Lynn. USC defensive coordinator. But basically, some things are Anton Lynn. He came from UCLA. They had a good defense last year. Okay, so basically, before you start calling for people jobs, you got to understand, is this job even desirable? Because if I was a coach and I'm coaching somewhere else and I'm winning, I would stay where I'm at and maybe just ask for a raise. Because you don't want to go to these schools where, prime example, Dan Mullen that's making fun of Florida and Billy Napier right now, and people want to get mad, talk, he quit on his team this last year. Dan Mullen in 2018 in Florida was a horrible program prior to him getting there. New Year's Six in SEC East Championship and almost beat Alabama. Now, he ended that year horrible, and then the next year, they did bad. Now, you mean to tell me you go to 3 New Year's Six bowls, you have one bad year, we get rid of you. Now, Billy Napier, Mike Norvell, it was bad for a couple of years, 2 years. Then, 10-win season, 13-1, because that loss count. You wasn't 13-0. Now, lose 2, they want to get rid of you. There's a difference between lack of accountability, which happened in the offseason when everybody had excuses for Mario, for Mike, for Billy Napier, for Lane Kiffin, whoever it might be. There's a difference. Like older guys taught me, you can't be too hot or too cold. You can hold somebody accountable, but that still doesn't mean that you just throw the baby out with the bathwater. Sometimes you have to do what Bill Belichick does. I did. You have to allow people to fight their way out of the hole. The problem is we live in this Instagram, Twitter, YouTube fantasy world where you think you can have everything, you can have your cake and eat it too. You want a man that make $1 million a year, but he's at home all the time. You want a beautiful woman, you want this, you want that, but you don't want to speak. You don't want to, at the end of the day, everybody wants something for nothing. Well, guess what? That's not how life works. It's a give and take. What are you willing to put in even as a fan base? Because Florida State went through 2 years of losing before they got those 2 years of winning. I'm not saying that you have to go all the way back to that, but if you look at the Bobby Bowtons, the Jimmy Johnsons, the Steve Spurriers, not to this effect because they had a stronghold on Florida recruiting because a lot of people out of the state weren't coming in, but sometimes there's a difference on how you lose, how you win. I just don't want malpractice coaching. What I mean by malpractice is when it's self-inflicted wounds. If you're coaching the players you have to the maximum ability they're giving the maximum effort, maximum discipline, then we can work with that. Now you got a culture in place. Now you go get better pieces. But if you're not doing what you're doing, you're not a good steward over $5. What make you think if I give you $5 million, you're gonna know how to manage it? Money cannot be thrown at problems all the time. People have a big fantasy and they be blaming money for stuff that money can't fix. It's just gonna amplify it. Everybody got NIL. Everybody has NILs. Excuse my language. But at the end of the day, it's not what you have, it's what you do with it. There's teams like Iowa, Iowa State, the Wisconsins of the world, the Kansas States. They're never going to have the money the USC, the Florida States, the Florida, Miami have. But they win consistently because they make the most of what they have. I'm not saying, because even with Miami, we're doing well, but we got to fix our mistakes. I know he wanted to run up the score, but Zach Carpenter, the center, got hurt. And Nico Francavella had to play a few snaps. We got to be careful with that. Same thing with the Shador win, because you can lose good or you can win bad. I know that sounds crazy, but when you're looking at the future, you got to look at your habits. When you got a big lead like that, you got to take care of watering those guys out the game to get the young guys experience in case they have to come in one day, and also to protect your assets. But two, Shador Sanders, once you were up and it's a 2-minute drill, do not be throwing the ball, especially on first down. You have to trust the run game because you're going against a Nebraska team this week that has a defense, that has a quarterback. He's not as good as Colorado's quarterback, but he's darn good. They calling him Baby Mahomes, Dylan Raiola. So you have to have good habits. A lot of people, their bad habits get ignored because they have success. And a lot of it is past success or they got lucky. Like USC is not better than LSU. USC, they gave the maximum effort and discipline, and it just the ball rolled into their court. It happens like that sometimes. If I was an LSU fan, an LSU player, just stick to the process. He went 10-3 2 years in a row in the SEC West. What more do you want? You're not gonna beat Alabama and LSU every year, and he beat Alabama. So what are y'all like? A lot of you people, you're too mentally soft to be a football player, coach, or even a football fan. I know some people, they don't want to watch the game unless they team up 21. Then if they team up 21, they like, oh, they ain't playing nobody. This a blowout. All you want to do is complain, man. So this is not scalding people. This is just warning you. I've learned through life. I may not be that old, but sometimes the youth have to educate the youth, and they have to educate the elders. You're not going to get something for nothing. That's fantasy. Now moving on to the NFL. We got Trent Williams of the San Francisco 49ers. He held out all training camp. Now he's deciding to show up and get his paper. Now I warned you, Brandon Ayuk got his deal at the last hour. Jamar Chase still doesn't have a deal, still not practicing. The same thing applies to pros as it applies to college. This is a team sport. I understand you want your money, but it has to be within the construct. I suggest they need to start redoing these contracts. First of all, once cap opens, no contract negotiations because it's affecting team chemistry. Also, I feel like, I think that's it. Yeah, once cap opens, no more contract talk. Either you play on your deal or you don't play. Another thing, maybe they need to start doing less money but more guaranteed money. Because it's easy to just write it off. It's not worth the headache. Why pay it? Why promise a guy $50 million you know you don't want to pay him? What can you guarantee me? And let the rest of that just be bonus money. So if you tell me 4 years, I want 4 years, $20 million a year, fine. I don't need 35. If I get the extra 15, that's bonuses for playoffs, this, that, and the third. Okay, cool. That way we can focus and do our job, because this is not a job you can just show up right before the game. Like, we see a lot of guys get hurt. We've seen guys have horrible seasons because they were going through disputes for contracts all year long. So I think the NFL owners back in the day, it was smart for them to have unguaranteed contracts. But I think with this quarterback thing going up and them trying to reset the market, maybe we've seen with the Deshaun Watson thing, because they probably going to get rid of Deshaun Watson after this year. Maybe it's better to give a guy a guaranteed contract. Just give him something that you can afford. That way everybody can be held accountable, because the team, they'll sign you to the deal, but they don't want to hold up their end of the bargain. They only want to give you 2 years guaranteed on a 4-year deal. So your year 3 and 4, you crying over your money. But then on the flip side, they may have paid you, but now you outperforming. Now you want a new deal. It don't work like that nowhere in the world, not even in the NBA or in the MLB. And it's causing problems. That's why we're seeing a poor tackling. That's why we're seeing players that don't know the play. Oh, I'm the linebacker, you the safety. Who your man? Who my man? They cross over, and now we running into each other. That's sloppy play. You want to know why? Because people aren't together during training camp when they're supposed to be getting prepared. People need to figure it out. This my rate. This how many years is guaranteed. If somebody get hurt, okay, fine. Get them a rate that even if they get hurt, you comfortable paying them. Because this on the owners too. Because any other job, if somebody get hurt, you don't say, oh, we're not going to give you your salary. It don't work like that nowhere in the world. So figure out what you comfortable paying for 4 years or 3 years or 5 years, whether they get hurt, fall off a cliff, whatever. So maybe they have to lessen the salaries, but just give it guaranteed. But this that's going on is not working because the fans do matter. The fans are complaining about the product. We don't want to see all this missed tackles. We don't want to see all this, the quarterback throwing the ball over here and the wide receiver over there. You have to have chemistry with guys to work. So that's pretty much my spiel for the day. So going into week 2 college football, let's look at Athlon's top 25. This is not the official top 25. This is just Athlon. I'm going to read over it. They got Georgia at number 1. And I'm going to give you the bonus picks if you stay with me. I got the bonus picks coming. They got Ohio State 2, Texas 3, Ole Miss 4, Alabama 5. They have Notre Dame 6. And it's Athlon, by the way, not the AP or Coach Poll. Oregon 7, Penn State 8, Miami number 9, Michigan still at 10 because of that defense, Missouri 11, Tennessee 12, Utah 13, USC 14, Oklahoma 15, Kansas State 16, Oklahoma State 17, LSU 18, Clemson 19, that's too high, Kansas 20, Arizona 21, Texas A&M 22, Louisville 23, Iowa 24, and Georgia Tech 25. So that's what they're looking at for the top 25 teams according to Athlons. We'll see what the Coach Poll and the AP Poll have later on today or tomorrow. Also, the bonus picks. Let me hit you with the bonus picks before we get out of here. So from now on, if you want those bonuses, you got to tune in to the end. So for my bonus picks, these are bonus picks for the MLB. I have the Chicago Cubs money line. We got the Atlanta Braves, the Oakland A's, and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Again, these are the bonuses. This is the Atlanta Braves, the Chicago Cubs, the Oakland A's, and the Arizona Diamondbacks. So that's the bonus picks. They are not in the description. They're not in the regular picks. You had to watch to the end to get those bonuses. That's the Atlanta Braves, the Chicago Cubs, the Oakland A's, and the Arizona Diamondbacks. So every day I'm going to have a couple bonus picks that I will not give you unless you watch to the end. These are the regular picks. If you didn't see them, they were Miami, they were Baltimore, Minnesota, Philly, the Mets, Cleveland Guardians, the Milwaukee Brewers, New York Yankees, and the Los Angeles Dodgers. My name is Ty Sports Picks. Follow me on at the bottom, Ty Sports Picks 24. And please donate to the Cash App to help the channel on $TY Rebel 22. That's the show for today. Let's get ready for week 2. Let's go.